I've been travelling Australia asking young men if, in the event of a war, they'd fight to defend the country. This is an important question. Whether you like it or not, war is increasingly likely at various places around the world at the moment, and it will be difficult for Australia to avoid getting involved. Ukraine is losing its fight against the invading Russian forces, and the countries that offered military and financial support from the start, including Australia, will soon have a moral obligation to jump in and help Ukraine finish off the job. Whether that is possible or even wise is highly debatable. In many ways, we are already at war with China. China makes no secret of its contempt for our values of freedom and democracy, locking up our citizens on trumped-up charges, banning our exports because we had the audacity to ask them where the hell the coronavirus came from, trying to suppress freedom of speech on our own university campuses, and hacking into our databases. The Australian Defence Force knows it is ill-prepared for battle at exactly the wrong time. Just recently, it announced that Kiwi permanent residents of Australia can, from July, join the ADF if they so wish. And from next year, permanent residents of other countries will also be allowed to join the ADF. I have a theory that how prepared you are to defend Australia depends often on where you live. In Sydney, I found a fair amount of blokes who were prepared to defend the country.
I would, yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think I would.
But no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, for sure.
In Melbourne, not so much.
Yeah, fucking oath I would. I'll be on the front line.
Yeah, I'd defend it, yeah, sure. I would.
I probably wouldn't want to. No one really wants to go to war.
What? I would not.
I'm not a believer in war.
Well, now I'm in Woy Woy on the Central Coast of New South Wales. It's tradie heaven up here. A place for young families and aspirational voters. Would the men round here fight to defend their country? Let's find out. If war broke out tomorrow, would you fight to defend Australia?
It probably depends who we're fighting against, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah.
But if
I'd have to think about it.
If they invaded the country?
Yeah, I would, if they invaded the country, yeah.
Would you defend Australia's values?
I hope so. It depends if we agree on the values, I suppose. I think we're very divided on our values at the moment.
Well, it's hard to say.
The values that I believe in, I would fight for them. But yeah, I can't say that people in charge and politicians always agree with my values. So yeah.
Well, they just locked us up for a couple of years, didn't
Well,
they?
yeah, that wasn't a good start.
Possibly.
You live here, right?
I do, but I'm not an Australian citizen at this time, so
But
that
it'd be
would factor into the decision.
It's worth defending, though?
Definitely worth defending, yeah.
And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
were defending it, what would you be fighting for? Fighting for the country itself or for its values?
Oh, I could go for both. I could say both. I think the territory is important. I think the people, obviously, who live here are important. I think the values are 100% worth fighting for.
Yes,
Why is that?
because I love Australia. It's always been my home. Yeah, I'm proud of my land.
When you think of Australia, what values do you think of?
Freedom, multiculturalism, being accepting of everyone, having the opportunity to do whatever you want to.
But when you say freedom, the government locked us up for a couple of years, and if the government sent you to war, how would you feel about that?
I'm anti-conscription, if that's what you're asking.
I'd just be in it for the killing, personally, especially if they were some lesser race. Yeah.
But Australia's worth defending, right?
Yeah.
Has Australia been good to you, mate?
I mean, look at me.
Yeah. Why is that?
I think it's just, I guess, who we are as people, I guess. Like, who you're brought up to be and having pride in your country.
And if you were fighting to defend Australia, would it be to defend the country or for its values?
Both?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because there's no point. It's not like it was back in the day when you'd come home to a house, a family, stable job, support, pension. There's nothing to fight for here if we can't even get houses to live in ourselves. So there's no real kind of pride in the economy. There's no pride in the nation, because what's this to live in this kind of world if you're just scrounging paycheck to paycheck? Why would I go and fight someone across the world for some rich man's war?
The way the 21st century is and whatnot, and like how the youngins don't understand anything necessarily, probably not, because there's no respect, you know what I mean? Like, you have to remind them about Anzac.
Yeah.
It's sad. So, like, when you think about some of the old boys that went and had fought back in the Anzac time,
Yep.
would they have won, you know what I mean? If it was
So,
the way it is?
I mean, if there was a war, what values would you be fighting for?
I'd have to honestly be probably the same as, like, at the time of Gallipoli. Like, as long as Australia was really, really threatened, then that's the probably time I'd come in. But, like, during that time as well, too, you've always got to stay true to, like, the actual Aussie and the Koori as well, too. So, you know, that's Australia and that, so.
If war broke out,
Yeah.
funny enough, I think we're going to the reserves. So maybe,
Yeah. Why you want to go into the reserves?
I don't know, something different.
Yeah. But you defend Australia, right?
Yeah.
Is it worth defending?
Well, wouldn't it be?
Well, they locked us up for a couple of years. Some people don't like our government at the moment.
Yeah, but that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you be defending if you did fight for Australia?
What would I be defending?
Well, would you be defending the territory or our values?
Australia as a whole.
Well, that was a varied and sometimes amusing response from the boys of Woy Woy. Follow me on social media so you don't miss the next instalment of this series coming to you from Byron Bay. You won't want to miss that one. See you soon.